everybody, it's Robin. Welcome back to RNBHomestead. Now make sure that you go ahead and hit the subscribe button and also give me a thumbs up. And also hit that bell notification so you get a notification every time I upload a video. So my last video we were talking about where should I homestead at. This time we're going to talk about actually picking the land. What things you need to look for when you're deciding, okay, I know where I'm going, I know what city I'm going to, let's call this a realtor, but what criteria do I have? And so what I did was, I have my notes here so that I can make sure that I give you all the information as usual. So, let's get to it. Okay, so let's start with, you've decided, I'm going to Arizona. I'm going to, for argument's sake, we're going to Kingman. Now I say this out loud, I have not decided to go to Kingman. I'm just using that as an example. So someone can't come back like, Robin, you said, no. Using it as an example. So basically, you now decide, okay, I want to buy land there. Two important things. One, take your time. This is a huge purchase and investment. So I state this again. Take your time. Second thing, get a realtor who knows about real estate and land. Not just real estate and buying houses and escrow and things of that nature. A realtor who specializes in land and land development. This will be a very, very, very key point when you're looking for land, because it can become a huge experience that's wonderful, but it can also turn into a big old mess if you're working with someone who has no clue. So make sure you find a realtor who specializes in land and land development, who understands title and liens, etc. Okay, so now there's a couple of things that you need to take in consideration when you're looking at the land. Oh, that's number 3. I said it was 2, but it's 3. Take your time, get a good realtor, and go see the land. Do not depend on pictures and descriptions on the internet. Go walk the land. I've had people have all these experiences where the property looks great, there's a house on it and it looks great, and when they get there, I don't know where they got those pictures from, but it's not the place that I'm looking at. So make sure that you go to the property. So, as I said before, I got my notebook, so if I look down, I'm looking down to make sure that, again, I give you all the information. So the first thing is that most of the time, like me, I'm getting land that is undeveloped. And what that means is that there's nothing on it. No house, no electricity, no water, no sewer, no nothing. It's just land with trees and bushes, maybe. It may just be desert dirt because I'm looking in Arizona. But either way, it's not developed. There's nothing there. Now, in Arizona, you literally can get 20 acres of land for $5,000, depending on where you go and what's on it. For instance, my number 1, you need water. Can't garden, can't live without water. So everyone thinks, oh, Arizona's a desert, blah, blah, blah. No, Arizona is a desert, but people fail to realize Arizona has mountains that get snow. And Arizona actually gets its water, from my research, from the Colorado and somewhere else. There's aqueducts, and this is how their water is, how they get their water. So You do not have to be on public water. Me, I'm not going to be on public water. My goal is to be subsistent. Yes, I'm having an issue today. It's Sunday and I gotta go to work tomorrow. But anyway, so I plan on digging a well. So let's talk about digging a well. You just can't go and say, oh, dig a well in that spot. Because guess what? They charge per foot that they dig. You can spend $3,000. You can spend $25,000. It all depends on how long they have to dig before they hit water. And in Arizona, to protect the equipment, most people build a water house. Basically, it's a building over the pump. Me, I want to dig a well. I want to have the handle so I can get the water just in case the electricity goes out, or once I'm able to do solar, it's not working. I can still manually get water, but I plan on putting automatic pump, which means I need a pump house. And again, that can range anywhere from $3,500 and up, depending on the price of wood to build the house, the pump house, to digging the well, finding a company who knows what they're doing. And then you have to survey and look at your land so they can tell you. There are surveys you can get where they can tell you where, they can't tell you where water is going to be, because there's no magic. But if, for instance, there's an underground spring or something that goes under the property, that may have been noted on the survey. So you need to make sure that you check that out also. So water, number one thing you need to get. So next thing is access. What do I mean? Okay, you just bought 80 acres of land and you can't get to it. What sense does that make? You have to be careful of that way. No matter where you decide to live at, you have to have access to your property. I would prefer not to have a lien on someone else's property to get to my property. That makes no sense. But there are places, like some people, they go and they see this beautiful property and they go buy it, and it's on this mountain pass, 20 acres is mountain and rocks and hills, and you can't get to your property because you can't get past the hills and the mountains. Doesn't make sense. So again, this is when it comes in place that you need to have a good realtor in order to make sure that you have access to the property. The next thing is buying land too close or too far from amenities. Okay, so I'm 45, not 25. So although I want to grow and raise animals, I may need a hospital. I may want to go to the movies. I may want to go to the club. Well, let's not get ridiculous here. But you may want to go to the club. Either way, you want to make sure that when you're buying properties, that you don't buy property that's 4 hours from the nearest town. Or you don't want to like me, I'm an introvert. I don't need to be in the city. I'm not a city liver. That's not what I do. So pick something in between. Something that's 20, 30, 45 minutes outside the city. One, you'll get more land for your money. But two, you'll still be close enough to amenities and services that you may need or want. Now, number 4. Don't buy the first property you see. Remember what I said? Take your time. Take your time. Because this is a huge investment. Do not go and say, oh, I love this property. Put an offer in. Now you bought the property. And then, say for instance, you're on the land site, or you're on Zillow or Realtor or whatever, and you found another plot that, oh, I want to live here. I get more land for less money than what I just paid for. But too late. You just bought the property. So again, take your time. Make sure that you look at the land and it meets certain criteria. You can always go back if you go and see 5, 10 properties and none of them speak to you. But give it a chance. Do not buy the first property that you see. Number 5, especially for me in Arizona, try to get properties with trees. And people fail to realize, besides cactus, Arizona does have trees. And trees actually serve as shade for your plants and shade for you, because sometimes you don't want direct sun. So I would suggest, my suggestion, out of all the research that I've done, is to try to get properties with some type of tree coverage. Be careful in Arizona because, that's where the snakes like to be, under the trees. So make sure that if you find a property with trees, that you prune the trees so you can see under there. Because, there's snakes. But no matter where you're at, there's some type of critters out there. It just is what it is. And number 6. Number 6 is you want to buy a property that technically, for instance, say you outgrow the property and you want to use it as an investment, which is a very smart idea. So when you're looking at properties, don't just look at them as, okay, I'm going to buy this property to live on. Because something may happen where you may need to sell the property and get more land. Or like me, I saw a property that's 80 acres. Well, might get up in age and 80 acres is just way too much. And I might need to sell it or sell pieces of the parcel. So you need to make sure that the property is not only good for you, but good for investment purposes. Or, for example, you may buy land and you have so many acres and you said, I might have, in my case, a dew ranch or a place where people can come and camp and look at the mountains. Disclaimer, I can't protect you from the coyotes and the mountain lions in Arizona. So, but it's still a good idea. And number 7. Number 7 is you want to, especially if you're a gardener like me, you want to make sure that you don't buy a property that's north facing. The research I've done, it says that in order to get direct sun and just sun in general when growing your plants, you want to have a property that is not on a north facing slope, because then you won't get enough sun for your plants. The best type of property to buy is a south facing property. Or in my case, if I'm buying acres and acres and acres of land, I don't want my property to slope on the north. If it slopes on the south. But you're in Arizona, you're going to have sun all around you. But I still have to build my house, barns, animal enclosures. So I need to make sure that my plants, when I do raised bed gardens or whatever I decide to do, are getting enough sun. So again, you need to take your time. So the biggest thing I can say is research, research, research. Research is going to be your friend. No one can do this for you. You have to put your boots on and touch the dirt. You have to go see the property. You have to have a good realtor, and you have to take your time. So that's what I have. Those are my top 7 things that you need to look for when buying property. Now make sure that you check in with me with my next video, because I'll actually give you some more ideas. But these were my top 7, but I do have more. So remember I told you that I had this saying that was so awesome, but I couldn't remember it. So I actually wrote it down this time, and it's, don't judge each day by your harvest, but by the seeds that you plant. Let that sink in. It's a metaphor. Really think about it. Don't judge your day by your harvest, but the seeds that you plant. Until next time, thank you for taking your time and coming with me on this journey.